Hi, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to view this presentation. I think you'll find it has a lot of information that's very interesting. Let me first start off by saying that I'm a big believer in gratitude, probably because I have so much to be grateful for. My wonderful wife Luann and I have been married for 40 years. We have 3 sons, Dan, Jim, and Mike, that we couldn't be more proud of, 3 daughter-in-laws, a grandson, Carson Thomas Lahiff, and a granddaughter on the way. And every morning I go through this gratitude ritual. I say a list of people that I appreciate that are in my life. And one of the people on the list is Mayor Mike, because I appreciate the work that he has done for Brooklyn Heights. I think he cares about Brooklyn Heights, and I think he's done the best that he can. We're just at a different time in our village, and the challenges that we're facing needs a different skill set. As a financial advisor for most of my career, we went through, and it was important for people to understand exactly where they were financially. And it's important also for Brooklyn Heights residents to know where we're at. You'll hear that we had a record year last year. But if you look at all the funds, general funds and all of them across the board, last year we had $187,000 more in spending than we had in receipts. So we lost $187,000. You also hear we have $1 million surplus. And it is true, we do have $1 million, which puts us in better financial condition than most communities. But keep in mind, 16 years ago, our cash balance was $11,655,000. Number one source of revenue for the village is our business employment tax, the 2% employment tax for the company's employees that work within the village. And if you look actually at the brooklynheights.org website, there's a category for available properties. And when you look at it, there's 32 available properties in Brooklyn Heights. Now, not all those are empty, but they do have available space in them. And when you add up that total, the total square feet available from our website is 646,000 square feet. Now, let me put that in perspective. The Smith and Kennedy building, which is basically has 24,000 square feet available for most of the building, it would be 27 of the Smith and Kennedy buildings. The community center, which has the 2 floors, totals 3,100 square feet, there'd be 205 of the community centers for available space in Brooklyn Heights. The solution is to fill the buildings. 6 years ago, I made a presentation to council saying that we needed to work with the existing businesses, and we needed a plan in order to do it. So I suggested we buy a constant contact program and meet with every business owner in the village, the president of the business or the owner, and build a relationship with them. And then every 3 months we send out a newsletter. And it could be what's going on legislatively, what's going on construction-wise, what's going on grant-wise, and what's upcoming events. Then also we could spotlight every quarter one of the companies to promote them to other people in the village. It would cost the business owners nothing, and it cost us about $100 a year plus somebody to put it together. Now, council is legislation, and the mayor is administration. The difference between the two is legislation. As legislators, we can purchase things, we can make ordinances, we can make changes, but we cannot tell the department heads how to run their department. The mayor, as administration, can. So we purchased the Constant Contact program. We spent $110 a year, and it never got used. 4 years ago, I didn't run for council for re-election, and I decided I wanted to move into economic development. I thought that was a critical need for the village. And I made a presentation to council, and basically going over the same type of things on how we need to get referrals from existing businesses in order to fill the buildings, and we needed to have a plan. And the mayor's response was that business owners don't want to be contacted. And I almost fell off my chair. As a financial advisor, the number one reason people switch financial advisors is not because investments are up or down. It's because nobody's called them in 2 years, and we need to maintain that relationship with our existing businesses. Because we can't afford to lose anybody. It's important to have a plan to work with the existing businesses. So what I did present was that we needed to work with the existing businesses on the newsletter, and we needed to encourage them to give us referrals to fill the buildings. But another plan I had was that we needed to brand ourselves and educate people on Brooklyn Heights. When you tell people you're from Brooklyn Heights, the first thing they think of is that, oh, you're over by Memphis. Well, no, that's Brooklyn. They don't even know where we're at. So one idea, and again, this is just one idea I had, is that we could hire somebody to shoot a video, take a drone up over the park, over the neighborhoods. We can educate everybody on where Brooklyn Heights is on a map by every major highway. Business owners can put their business right in Brooklyn Heights, and their employees can live anywhere and get there without going downtown. We have a 3-minute emergency response time. We have the lowest property tax rate in the county. We have 2 police cars on the road at all time. And so if they see a car by your business at 2 in the morning, they know it shouldn't be there, they're going to check it out. But what we could do is, once we have this, we can email this to every commercial realtor and every real estate attorney and educate them on the benefits of Brooklyn Heights. You'll hear from people out there that I'm just a paperboy. Well, it's true. 10 years ago, 1990, I started my own group health insurance agency called Lahiff and Associates, and for the next 5 years, I ran that by myself. But I'm not a risk taker. I'm not a true entrepreneur. I need to have money coming into our house. I don't gamble, I don't drink alcohol, I don't smoke. So I got up in the morning and I started delivering the Plain Dealer. And that was 27 years ago, and I still do it to this day. And it structures my day, and it allows me time to plan out different presentations for the different businesses I had. I've been on council for 10 years. Let me also go back 10 years ago. I was working for a company called Pension Builders and Consultants, and I was a registered representative, Series 7 stockbroker, and I sold pension plans directly to business owners. And put together a plan on how to market that. And instead of calling business owners direct, what we did was we set up 5 strategic centers of influence. And it was 2 pension attorneys, an actuary, a payroll company, and Cozy. And over the next 3 years, that marketing plan that I put together, brought in nearly $30 million in assets. Then the company got sold to a big company called Raymond, 750 employees, and I moved into business development. And for the next 4 years, I was the top person in sales in the state of Ohio. Then 3 years ago, my father passed away at the age of 92. I had a great dad, but it put things in perspective, because I had seen the first 2/3 of my life and I'd seen the last 2/3 of his life, and I wouldn't trade my life for anybody. But what it did was it showed me as to how fast things are going by. And I made the decision at that time that when the opportunity came up, I was going to run for mayor. And I wanted to do something significant with my time, and it was something that I had a passion for. I tried looking at commercial insurance, and that wasn't for me. And 2 years ago, started a company with 2 other business partners called We Build Apps. And we do proximity marketing. I negotiated a 5-year contract with Crocker Park that when you go out there and you have a smartphone, you'll get ads from the stores on that. And in 2 years, that company is valued at $5 million. And our business plan that we have is to build it up and sell it. In visiting the households, I handed out a flyer. It went over a couple things, just a couple of points that I don't take political contributions because I don't want to be in debt to anybody. I also feel that it's a luxury for the village to pay for a car for the mayor, so I won't use a village car. But I also talk about it where it's important to take a stand. And there's a couple issues on that. Last year we had a problem with the school board, and I thought it was important to get involved with that, to support the superintendent, Tom Evans. And I did get involved with that. Whereas if I had been mayor at that time, I would have been stepped forward much more, because I thought as a leader that should have been done, that could have helped that situation. Now I need to go over an incident that happened only because of small town politics, and it is something that's being used against me, so it's important for me to discuss it. There was an incident that happened December 13th of last year in a closed-door council meeting. There was the 5 of us from council, the mayor, and the clerk treasurer. And it wasn't recorded, it was back in the council chambers. But I got into a heated argument with Councilman Walsh. And one thing led to another, and I ended up pushing his arm. I was sitting next to him, I pushed his arm. I didn't harm him, he didn't get harmed, I didn't intend to harm him. And I apologized, and we went on with the meeting for another hour and a half. In January, the mayor told people that if I ran against him, he would have me prosecuted for assault. And I told him to do whatever he had to do. End of January, I got a call from our police chief who asked me to come in and make a statement about the incident. I went in and I told him that exactly what happened. I was 100% at fault. I did not harm him. I didn't intend to harm him, but I took all the responsibility for it and didn't hear anything more. In March, we got an agenda for our upcoming council meeting, and it said that we're going to get a report from a special prosecutor regarding the conduct of Tom Lahiff at a council meeting. And was blindsided by that. The prosecutor never talked to me. He only never talked to many of the people, but he came to the conclusion that I could be charged with assault. Council decided to handle it in-house. I went for 1 hour of anger management, and the therapist told me there was no reason for me to be there. This is 100% political. And I did a written apology. Unfortunately, that written apology wasn't accepted by Councilman Walsh. In July, the week after I turned in my petition to run for mayor, there was an article that came out in Cleveland.com regarding the whole incident. Again, never talked to me. They never talked to, all they talked to was the mayor and Matt Walsh, and there's a lot of inaccuracies in that. But what I suggest is that if you want the story on that, you talk to somebody that isn't being challenged in an election. Talk to John Black, talk to Mark Lasky, talk to Les Foote, talk to Tim Clymer. People that know me, people know the mayor, people know what's going on with that. In summary, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to view this presentation, and I really would like to make the difference in Brooklyn Heights, and I need your help. If you'd like to, willing to put a sign in your yard, give me a call. If you have any questions, call me or reply to this email. And remember, tomorrow starts with Tom. Thank you.